Hello and welcome to Celebrity Tuesdays on IBM.TV. We are live today. And of course, this is going to be the Henning's Hour. We're waiting for Henning to come in. Hopefully, he'll be here soon. Meanwhile, we'll just talk a little bit about what's going on in today's world, in the celebrity world. We have a new TV show coming on this afternoon called Humera Wood. Humera Wood is joining Bollywood and Hollywood. And we're going to connect the two worlds together and share with you all of the wonderful, amazing things between the two worlds. We're not going to forget the other woods either, but Humera Wood is bringing us a lot of information about two of the biggest media industries, film industries in the world. And I think that, this is going to be something that everyone will definitely enjoy. We have so many new TV shows. I'm going to share some videos with you about some of the new TV shows that we want you to try to enjoy as well, because IBM TV is about smart TV, and we want to share with you some smart ideas. Win with Win is on at 7 a.m. or Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mondays. And that is Win with Win. Win Charles is an amazing woman who has cerebral palsy and has not let that be the biggest challenge in her life. She is also a survivor of domestic violence, and she brings some of the best words in the world. But let me tell you what, if you want to learn how to be a good podcaster, watch her. She set a goal to get 60,000 downloads, and guess what? She did it. Her new goal is 400 new downloads a day, and guess what? She is meeting it. And we are so honored that Win is bringing her TV show to IBM TV. But like she said, that's smart TV. Our other episode this afternoon is by another wonderful woman, Vivian from China. And here is her show. And I'm going to tell you what, after you watch her show, you want to not only go to China, but you want to eat some Chinese food.
My name's Brandon. I'm a world traveler, foodie, and YouTuber. Together, you and I will find the best travel hacks, tips, and best places to explore. Join me as we find new adventures together, live only on IBM.TV.
Well, okay, so I messed that up. That wasn't Vivian's travel show, which does come on after this afternoon after Humera Wood. That is Travel with Brandon, who just wrapped up. And let me tell you what, if you want some good travel hacks on how to travel cost effectively but fun and glamorously, check Brandon out. He's also got some great stories on how to protect yourself. Now, let's also talk about what's going on in the world today. One of my other favorite shows is our White House reports, and we'll listen to the White House report for now.
From IBM TV, International Broadcast Media, this is your report from Washington. We are 27 days away. Trump returned to the White House from the hospital yesterday, took off his mask, saluted, and then went inside without protection with staffers and cut a video. Trump said, quote, "We're going back. We're going back to work. We're going to be out front. As your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it." He continued, quote, "I stood out front. I led. Nobody that's a leader would not do what I did. I know there's a risk. There's a danger. That's okay. And now I'm better. And maybe I'm immune. I don't know. But don't let it dominate your lives. Get out there. Be careful," end quote. The world collectively shook their heads in disbelief. Meanwhile, Trump's campaign, short on money and leadership as COVID spreads through his team, has pulled its advertising in Texas, Arizona, Iowa, and Ohio. Biden is capitalizing by hitting critical swing states and investing in longtime Republican bastions. Biden made his second trip to Florida in 2 weeks, swinging through Little Havana, a typically conservative area known for its staunch opposition to the communist government that Fidel Castro installed in Cuba. Biden heads next to Arizona, which hasn't voted Democratic since 1996. Even Bernie Sanders has resumed in-person campaigning. Sanders held rallies in New Hampshire and Michigan proclaiming, quote, "We need Joe Biden as our president," end quote. Biden is dramatically increasing his ad push, reserving more than $6 million in television airtime in Texas through the end of October. He also plans to spend $4 million on advertising in Georgia. In the polls, Biden now holds his widest lead of the campaign, according to a new CNN poll. Among likely voters, 57% say they back Biden and 41% Trump. Wednesday, at the vice presidential debate, Harris and Pence will be separated by a see-through barrier to reduce the risk of COVID transmission. The Democratic campaign requested the plexiglass shield between the candidates. The debate in Salt Lake City is the only planned debate between the two, who will be seated more than 12 feet apart. In other news, on the first day of the new Supreme Court term, Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito attacked the decision that cleared the way for the nationwide legalization of same-sex marriage. Thomas raised the religious liberty implications of the decision and wrote that the precedent allows courts and governments to treat religious opponents of same-sex marriage as, quote, bigots. The swift attack has raised anxiety that the court will try to chip away at the precedent and continue its trend of ruling in favor of religious conservatives. In world news, a top European Union official said that a rupture between the EU and the UK, without even a basic trade deal by the end of the year, is becoming even more likely by the day. The EU is furious that Britain plans to breach portions of the withdrawal treaty that were put in place to maintain an open Irish border, which has underpinned peace in Northern Ireland since 1998's Good Friday Accord. While negotiators have inched close to agreement in many areas during 6 months of talks, they remain deadlocked over European fishing boats' access to UK waters and over the level of support governments can give to industry. The EU is concerned that British plans to subsidize sectors such as technology will amount to unfair competition. Another reason to stay home: there are fewer places to go. In the latest blow to the beleaguered film industry, Cineworld Group plc said Monday that it would close 536 Regal cinemas in the US and 127 Cineworld and Picture House venues in the UK this week, affecting some 45,000 employees. Quote, "We cannot be in a situation where we lose more cash when we are open than we lose when we are closed." In a sign of the times, 3 men blew up an ATM in a Chinese takeout restaurant in Philadelphia while the establishment was still open, but were unable to get any cash. The men entered the Golden Chinese American takeout restaurant in Northwest Philadelphia, ordered food, then placed an explosive device on the ATM and walked outside as it detonated. The 3 went back into the establishment but were unable to remove the cash box. The 3 then fled, all without either a withdrawal or chicken chow mein for dinner. Finally, the current COVID death toll from Johns Hopkins is over 210,196 American souls lost and 1,044,633 global souls lost with no end in sight. That is your report for October 6, 2020 from IBM TV, International Broadcast Media, smart television for a smarter global community, from dictatorships to democracies around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'm Bill Trezevant.
And thank you, Bill, for bringing us such bright, better political news than any other network in the world. And it's a shortcut of all of the jibber jabber trash that tends to come out of the national networks today, where they give you their own opinions. So Bill is bringing us this new, heightened, smart way to share political news. Meanwhile, we have added some very smart content for financial fitness. And on Fridays, we have And also on Fridays, we have another smart TV show with our medical doctors from all over the world, which has been awesome to learn so many wonderful things. I cannot believe how much I have learned just by being on the show with him, or even sometimes just watching it myself. But as you will notice, we get doctors from the US, doctors from all over the world that are helping us out. And most of the content that we get from them is consistent. So that tells me that the doctors know all of the right things to do. And they've been sharing all of this information during COVID so that we can kind of limit our fears. Facts, not fears, right, people? So here we go with our Medical Fridays. And that's our Medical Friday intro. And then we have the hottest, like most debatable content of people from all over the world, our Economics Monday, where we also have the world's most famous Pulitzer Prize author who wrote books on taxes and also teaches law and taxes, David K. Johnson. We also have deans from many universities in the economic realm. And then we have people from all over the world, from Australia, Malaysia, India, beaming in and sharing with us the economic impact that the pandemic had, but why we're not at a loss. And I encourage anyone to watch this. And you know what? During this COVID period shutdown, if you came up with a great idea and you want to launch it as a business, be sure to watch tomorrow on Wednesdays. We do Startup Wednesdays starting at 11 o'clock. First o'clock every morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are doing the White House reports, which will eventually turn back into our global news. But starting at 11 begins our daily standard programming. Wednesdays is Startup Wednesdays, and you will love our new Startup Talk. And what's great about our Wednesday startup show is we've got so many subject matter experts. You're going to see venture capitalists beam in. You're going to see resources beam in. We're going to get panelists to come in and talk with all of these great and wonderful startups. If you want a good kickoff on how to get your startup going, you can buy my book online, Startup Masters 101. I have been fortunate enough to have done a lot of startups myself, help a lot of startups. I've raised over $134 million in one swing, and you'll learn the secrets of all of that. But, you know, we got to have another good follow-up, and Thursdays becomes a really big day. It's where majority of our TV shows come from. So we call it our talent search, and it's called Podcaster Thursdays. And I want to tell you guys, one of my favorite shows that comes on, he's got his start with IBM TV on Podcaster Thursdays, and that's Mark Lee. He does the Mark Lee radio show. He does Dinner with Mark Lee and mystery guest. And he's got so many interesting TV shows on IBM TV that are all about educating people worldwide and bringing awareness on how we can fix some of these problems that we're having. And I genuinely just love listening to the honesty of his guests. We also host a producers roundtable talk every Sunday afternoon where we dig deep down into all of the current affairs that are impacting each and every one of us. And it's one of my favorite shows to beam in on. But let's talk about Podcaster Thursdays and where most of our TV shows got their start. Following the Podcasters TV show, where we find most of our talent for IBM TV, is a new, hot, really cool show who also got their start on Podcaster Thursday, Gamers Den. And you just don't miss it. If you want to learn all the great and cool ideas going on out there for gamers today, this is the show to watch. I cannot believe the people we even have on this show. Check it out. And if you want to do some traveling, like we saw Brandon travel with Brandon earlier, Vivian from China will be on this afternoon after Homera Wood. And Vivian from China just opens up the doors and helps us rebuild the bridges of how beautiful China is, that we don't need to be building walls with China. We need to be uniting globally. Everyone that watches this show feels the same way. You know, you want to travel there after you see what Vivian has to show, but you also can almost smell and taste the food that we're all hungry and going out and buying Chinese food after watching. Here's a little tip for you. And we've got so many other great shows. Another one of my favorite, and Mark Lee, who is joining me here, well, I'm going to bring Mark Lee in after this intro, is Talking Upstream on Sundays. Here's a little bit of an intro about Talking Upstream, two really cool guys who whiteboard some pretty amazing TV shows. And every Sunday, we also have Gen Z, which is the new teen show. And we have Lawyers Den every Monday night. And if you need a little bit of a political pick me up and understanding how the swing states are working, we have Dr. Bill Trezevant doing swing states 3 nights a week. And what would a smart TV network be without a resident genius? Coming up soon. And we have Mark Lee in the house. Mark, hi.
How are you doing?
Can
I'm
you hear
over
me?
here at the hey, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine.
That's good. Well, I'm over here actually at the Hayti Heritage Center. They're actually still closed, but we're over here doing a little bit of construction work and things of that nature. So I'm actually out and about today. So usually I would be right there in the home studio doing all kinds of exciting things, but I'm actually out and about on this evening. And it's a beautiful day here in Durham, North Carolina. So definitely enjoying this great weather and getting a chance to get out in the house and all of that. So I was getting a little bit of the house fever. So good to be outside and actually enjoying some of the sights and sounds of Durham while also being in a different location. But I was just impressed with all of these incredible shows that we have on this network. It's just amazing what you and Nick and the rest of the crew and myself, because I think I've helped recruit some of these shows as well, have put
Oh
together.
my
It is
God,
truly
yeah,
amazing.
you have. I mean, and one of my favorite shows that you actually direct. Hold on, just here, just a sec. All right, we got
Yeah.
Funk,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Zach. Now, unfortunately, I don't have access to all of the intros anymore. Those have moved. But what I was trying to do today was kind of play some of the intros, it being Celebrity Tuesday. I wanted to share with everyone some of the great, wonderful shows that we have going on, where we started out with a 15-minute show per day, grew to an hour. Within 2 weeks, we were running 4 hours a day. Now we're running all day long, thanks to Mark mostly. Mark is out there just doing so many TV shows. Mark, I don't know how you keep up with all of the shows, but you're also directing a couple of the
Yeah.
shows. You want to talk about what it's like to be a director?
Yes, no problem at all. I actually love directing those shows. Like you said, it is a privilege to work with my friend Zach, who does funk from the front seat as well as funk music with Zach. And like I said, I have been amazed. You talk about some great guests and the folks he's been able to find us and everything. When he's been able to get Peppermint Patty, who is related to and is the wife for Bootsy Collins. So have that kind of like musicians and everything. And I've met some great folks. Do you remember that band we had, the funk band? Because I know you over there grooving with them, that was like doing a combination of funk music and reggae. Rasta Funk, I believe, was their name, and they just had us over there just rocking the house. So they just did a great job, and I really enjoyed them. And I know he's lining up some other guests, so I really enjoyed the directing aspect of it. And then he brought in Tish Oakley, and Tish has just had some great guests as well. I know that
Oh,
she's had the opportunity to have that gentleman from DePaul who is actually building like a resort center, and a number of other folks. Like she had the young lady that was talking about mindfulness and stuff like that. Chrissy, I believe was her name. And she's also dealt with issues. We talk about serious issues here on the network on a regular basis. So she had somebody with head count, which of course is trying to get folks out to vote around the country. So I believe the young lady from head count was living in the Oregon area or something like that. It was one of the western states. I'm pretty sure it was either Oregon or Washington, but definitely it's just been amazing the folks that we've been able to get our hands on and to talk to too. And like I said, I've just been amazed at the way that we're getting a lot of reputation. Like I said, I know you're fans of Brian, and Brian is definitely fans of ours as well. So he still wants you to get over there and come to his show on Wednesday. So tomorrow I might have to send you his link so that you can get that chair dancing on, because I know you want to get some chair dancing going on.
We're just
And
going
so
to have to bring him to IBM TV because it makes it easier for me if people are here at IBM TV and then I can beam in
yes,
a lot faster. You know, like I did with last night, even though I don't
sure.
have the local access, you sent me a beam in and I beamed in last night, which was way cool conversation. Oh my gosh, Mark, that was amazing.
Oh yeah, that was a great conversation. The conversation before that, I was trying to get you to beam into, but I know you had those emergencies that you had to take care of. But Deidre Hodge was just truly amazing. I've known her now since she's had that job, but she took over from Nancy Bursky, who was one of the original people with the Full Frame Film Festival. But definitely, she was in there and has had that job for about 10 years, and she was just sharing a lot of her stories and passion for documentary filmmaking. And she actually lives in Minnesota now because her husband
Oh,
used to be at Playmakers and here in Chapel Hill, but now he has taken over the Guthrie Theater over there in Minnesota. So she's moved to Minnesota and is doing a lot of remote like programming with what she's doing in the network. So she's actually running the festival remotely from Minneapolis. So she talked about that. But you know, one of the things that I did not know until, like as Bill says, you have to do your research on your guests. So I did research, and I've known Deidre forever, but I did not realize that she was on both the sets of Dallas, Cheers, and one of your favorite shows. She was on some of the sets of Star Trek. So she actually personally
oh,
knows
wow.
Renee and folks like that. So she's actually traveled in those circles in her young acting career, because like now she's I believe around her
Beam me
50s.
up,
And
Scotty.
say what?
I said, beam me up, Scotty. Well, let's play
Yep.
another intro of another good show that a lot of people might not be aware of, and also another person who has provided some talent for IBM TV, some smart content, is Mind Closet 101. And Mark, I know
Yes.
that you have been a guest on there. I think you actually helped bring Michael to us. But let's take a look at Brother Michael.
Yes, definitely.
Oops. So anyway, that's a good one. I've been looking for your intro, and guess what? We don't have your intro on IBM TV anymore.
You should have
Um,
radio show. You should have the one that says radio show. It's like a got a little and I know Win and them have it, but it's got like a little robot guy dancing and everything. Speaking of robot people, I'm still waiting for your friend's show, and I know that you're working on it as well. But do we have any idea when we're gonna have that show on AR? Because I know it's your good friend Scarlett, and I'm looking forward to learning more about that whole virtual reality world. And I know that Scarlett is coming to us. So are we looking at either October? Well, this is October. Are we looking at October, or you think we're looking at November?
You know, Scarlett is so busy building the world with AR, XR, VR, and connecting the world. It's hard to get an idea of when a good show will run for her. She's got a lot of people who help her, but the situation is just like, you know how committed you have to be to do these shows, right?
Yes.
And she knows that, and she doesn't want to just start something and not be able to complete it, because that's just not the way Scarlett is. And it's one of the reasons why I respect her so much as a businesswoman. But we need her TV show on, because my gosh, what that woman knows
Mhm.
and what she can share with the world is amazing. But here's the banner for Mark's show. I would have to take us both off so that you can see it. TV. So the thing is Mark, I think they removed the intro from
Yeah.
I've got the banners, but
Yeah.
we've only got so much room for intros and stuff like that. But we have a new show starting this afternoon, Hamara Wood. Hamara Wood is
Go ahead.
connecting Hollywood to Bollywood, and Hamara herself speaks both languages and is a very brilliant woman who is in the know of all of these things. She knows so many of the stars. I'm just like, I can't wait to meet some of these people. Let's play her intro because that starts this afternoon, right after this hour. And wow, Humera is
And
a
I've got
celebrity
wow.
herself, right?
Yeah, and she's an amazing lady. Had the pleasure of talking to her when she joined us on the roundtable this past Sunday and everything, and we were talking about voting and her thoughts on that. I did not realize that she was involved almost as much as Bill within the political front, but I did look her up on LinkedIn stuff, and I've got good news for you, Kim. I just recently, I've known a gentleman for a while that is connected to Nollywood, and he used to do the Nollywood Awards here in North Carolina. So I think he's living in DC now, but I have put him already through LinkedIn in touch with Amara. So it might be Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood because I've already put her in touch with Norris. So Norris is the gentleman that has got a lot of ties to Nollywood. And I know that you had said that you would like Nollywood also represented, since that's the three big industries within the movie community globally. So definitely, it looks like we're going to have some Nollywood ties as well. And I've already sent her his LinkedIn profile, and hopefully they are communicating now. But I've already made that connection for us, and hopefully that's happening. So definitely that's going on.
What else is, we also have Raleighwood. Have you been there?
I've heard about it. I've known some people involved with Raleighwood, and there's actually a Raleigh Film Festival that I believe is coming up this month. So definitely there's a whole Raleighwood and Hollywood and Bollywood and Nollywood. So we got all kinds of these woods going on.
We officially have a Raleighwood here in Raleigh, and it's a very small, but hey, we got one. So, but I'm glad to hear that we're getting Nollywood into our Hollywood and Bollywood TV show that starts after this hour. We have a guest from Henning Morales's tribe who has just beamed in and joined us, Michelle Wilson. Not seeing you. There you are.
Hello, how are you?
We're doing great.
I only got on, I just love technology.
You gotta love technology.
So
How are
I'm
you
just
doing,
jumping
Michelle?
on the
I'm always
conversation.
glad well, it's always great seeing you and everything because we've got all kinds of great things going on. Always glad to see Michelle and Henning talk about their journey and what they're doing with that amazing group that they've got and everything. So just glad to see that you're representing just the whole movie industry so well and that you're doing some new things. I still got to put you in touch. Actually, I've got my buddy Quentin back in the office here with me and everything. So I still got to put you in touch with the film festival that we do at the Hayti Heritage Center because that's a major film festival. So I need to put you in touch with him and those filmmakers from North Carolina at some point because there's a lot of filmmakers from here in North Carolina. My friend Lana Garland and a number of others are doing work. So I know that I've said I'm going to put you in touch with them, and I need to do that very shortly. But a lot of that can even happen right here on this very powerful network that we have.
That's amazing. We actually just had a conversation with the film festival yesterday, and these film festivals, because of COVID, are having to do virtual film festivals going online. And so we're looking to see how we can support them. It's great that they're able to, independent filmmakers can share the films. But then what happens after they get the award, right? So we're looking to be able to support the film festivals that they're able to bring their amazing films onto our platform. So those are the conversations I've been having this past week. So it's pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to that connection, Mark.
I want to say that it's not easy doing these platforms, as you're well aware. I'm going to. There you go. See, we got our sound effects ready for the awards now, right? We got them ready.
Yeah.
I got it.
You're having almost as much fun as Nick with those. You're having almost as much fun as Nick does with those sound effects
Sound
because Nick does love his sound effects. I know that you're starting to love them as well. So I've got to get me some sound effects too off of the phone. But man, I'm gonna get back to my
it's hard to do on the
laptop and
phone.
everything. So I've me some sound effects as well.
Right. It's hard to do on the phone, and we're
Yes, it's
building
very
it
hard to do on
into
the
our
phone.
platform. So that's one of the things that we're adding to our platform. Our engineers are designing it so that we can just hit a button and we've got all kinds of sound effects. So we'll have gongs, well, mostly claps and cheers, but because we want our guests to feel the love that they miss from live stage. And so we're trying to incorporate that. But Michelle, you're talking about awards, film festivals. Somebody just texted me the other day if I was going to go to Sundance this coming round. I don't know what things are going to be like then, but apparently some people think that things are going to go live again next year. And it's kind of exciting to hear people talk about the events. But like you said, the awards, that's the most difficult part of some of this, although a lot of times it's on stage and so you're kind of separated from the audience, but you still feel that love from the audience. You have the red carpet walk, the introductions of coming in, the cameras flashing. I mean, there's no way to express what that feels like until you actually experience it. And it's just all of that is kind of taken away, it's just, but we can try to give it on the platform. But one of the things IBM TV is doing, we are putting together a huge, because we're already up to 62 shows now and adding 3 a week. We are literally, we had the Lawyers Den on Monday night. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. And we've got 3 other TV shows that are going to be starting here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We've added, I can't even keep up with all of them anymore. And what's exciting, like we have a young woman, Wynn, she's got a cerebral palsy. And she's also a victim of domestic violence. And she has overcome these challenges, has a podcast. Now, listen to this. She started her podcast several months ago, and her goal was to have 60,000 downloads within a few months, and she got it. Now she's doing 400 new downloads a day. And this is a disabled woman who you would think, she wouldn't do. Hey, Wynn's here. Hi, Wynn. So anyway, she's fabulous. She's inspiring. She makes you want to get up and not feel sorry for yourself, but realize that you can get out there and do something. But having all of this, IBM TV has decided we're going to do our own awards for our TV shows. We lost Michelle. Hi, Wynn. We're so happy that you're watching us. We're having a little technical difficulties in California.
Yeah.
Hopefully Michelle will get back up. Michelle is so beautiful. My gosh, she freezes beautiful. When I freeze, I always have this, I think because I move too much. So whenever I freeze, I'm like, got this ugly look face going on. How much fun was that last night? That was fun having that chat.
Yeah, that was real good. I enjoyed that chat and everything. And we actually carried that chat on yesterday. You were talking about the connections that are made here on this network. Those connections even carry on to other things as well. Because like I said, y'all discovered me on the Podcaster show because I was doing my podcast. And I know you're a big fan of Dean. And I did share your love with him yesterday and everything. And he was glad to do that. But I had one of our guests on, King Wojak, not King Wojak, I'm sorry, Dr. Funk on, and he had called in on the podcast. But while he was calling in, I had also been talking to Cheryl Lee, and Cheryl Lee was one of Alexandria's guests. So that's actually how I found Cheryl Lee. So Cheryl Lee called me last night at 7:00 at my time, because of the show that the more standard podcast, the more what I call radio podcast, is done from 7 to 9 with Dean and everything. But when she called in, she was calling from South Africa. So it was literally 2 a.m. or like 2 to 4 when she called me. But I met her through Alexandria. So like I said, I was watching Alexandria May's show, and I've met a couple of folks through that. And I had told Shirley on Instagram, of all places, I'd love for you to come on. And she's on come on our platform too. But she was like, I'm available at 7:00. I'm like, and then she realized what time that was her time. And she's like, I can still come on. And do you know she came on, Kim, on her anniversary night? Because literally today is her anniversary. So she and her husband are going to watch, speaking of what people can do in COVID, she's going to go watch a musical and have dinner but they are celebrating 15 years of marriage, and I think she's in her early 40s, like 40 or 41 or something like that. But it was just amazing learning about that South African music from her perspective, and her sharing that vision. And then a woman from Hawaii who I've known for a while that actually represents Dr. Funk and a couple of other folks, she jumped in on the call, and she's got a like real interesting background. So I'm gonna try to get Eris to call in or beam in on one of our shows as well, because Eris has sent me some guests, but I haven't had Eris on. But she's like you're talking about people that are inspirations. She's a single mother and a business owner, and she just got it going on while she's being a single mother. I do know that she has a steady man who's I think from Hawaii, so they've got a whole cultural difference as well. I think he's of Hawaiian descent. She's a European American, but they don't let that stop their love. So
Well, talk about a strong woman who's a businesswoman, single mom. We just beamed back in, Michelle. So tell us a little bit, Michelle, what's going on, because I know you're having technical difficulties. Talk about a little bit about what's going on with the Henning tribe and Rev Share and all of these great, wonderful things. Bring us up to date.
Well, what we're really excited about is, a few weeks ago, we were in the filmmaking of our And Hero, which is a short film that is inspired to really help young youth to know that they matter. And it's about suicide prevention. And we're taking it, using music, using entertainment to talk about a really difficult subject. So we're having our first private screening this week. So we're excited, just to kind of get some feedback. And we're going to be soon releasing the And Hero. And, our whole purpose of what we do and who we are and what we stand for is just really about, motivational, transformational films. And this is a subject matter that is a very, it's very sensitive. And a lot of times in the film industry, when we talk about suicide, it's very dark and, kind of hopelessness. And so we're really creating through empowerment that, hey, yes, it's really about, communicating with the youth and having a mentor. So we're really excited about our short film. And that's what we're up to right now, is just starting to get that out there. And we're looking to really partner. I've had several conversations yesterday. Like I said, I had conversations with filmmakers, but then I also had conversations with people who are, that is their mission, to work with suicide prevention, especially youth. And actually, this is a global movement, it's all over. And so we're looking just to partner up and see how we can really not only get our film out, and just partner with people. And I'm also very fortunate that I'm a co-author in a book. And it was kind of funny. I won't say funny, but I think things happen for a purpose, because we wrote this book over a year ago, and it was for mental health, suicide prevention. It's 80 of us authors. And it was kind of, we had some challenges getting it out, and it didn't quite get out. So we're releasing that next week. So we're actually partnering with Rev Share, and it's just so many, we're all doing these things kind of individually, it's really powerful that we collectively, and share the message, right? Our youth matter. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They just want to be understood. And that's that's what we stand for. That's what we're about. And we do it in a fun way. And it's a fun way that we can relate to the youth, right? Because it's, it is about music. It's about cars, and it's just giving them hope. So that's what we're up to.
Youth is about growing up, and sometimes it's hard to grow up, right? And sometimes we don't know the right things to do under peer pressure. And that's where I think a lot of the missed messages get out there. We see a lot of what goes on in Hollywood. It looks so simple, but life's not as simple, because people don't realize until you go work with somebody like Henning Morales, how many times you cut that movie to make it look so simple, right? But nothing, those steps are not simple. One of the things I like about Henning Morales and you is that all of these stories come from what really happened right here. These are all what I call true fiction. We kind of play it up a little bit, but they're true stories. So we're able to tell them from realistic views. And like you said, it's cars and music. You've got a book. I've got a surprise for you. We're starting a new TV series of doing book reviews. We just started putting it together. So yeah, that's what's cool about this. Is why I like what I do. You know, we can kind of talk about anything we want on these shows. So just to kind of give you a heads up, we're going to be doing a book review of different books coming out. We're hoping to get that started in about 3 to 4 weeks. It might end up having to happen after the election. But there are so many good books, so many people that have been on our show that have books. And so we're going to be lining up book reviews. One of the things, well, I can't tell you all the secrets, but we've got a lot of really cool things, but it's also to help you sell the book, right? Help you monetize and get out there and sell the book. So, so let's definitely, because of the mission, and I can't wait to read the book. What's the title of the book?
So it's called Daily Dose of Declaration. So it's actually 365 days of declaration. So when someone picks up this book, you know, we are decreeing that you are amazing. And so each author, like mine is about worthiness, and I talk about I am worthy. So my declaration is just really saying that I am worthy. You know, I'm God. We are a masterpiece of God, right? And so each day is a declaration. So it's actually a daily devotional. So we're looking to, we're doing our launch next week, but you know, the beginning of the year, we want to do a daily, a daily dose. And so it's really, it's an exciting project.
Yeah. Kim and Michelle, if I could just jump in real quickly and everything, I was going to share something with y'all and everything, which I know Michelle knows, but you don't know this, Kim, and everything. Well, two things. One is when you talk about Bollywood, and I know Humera will be coming on shortly and everything, they've actually dealt with the whole thing around suicide with several of their major stars over the last several weeks and years. So they've definitely, that has been an issue that has touched their part of the Hollywood industry. So definitely want to reflect on that. And I'm sure Humera will be reflecting on that in some of her upcoming episodes as well. But on a lighter note, one of the things that when I attended one of the Rev Share events and everything that we learned is that I have a family member that is also featured in that book as well, because my uncle's want to say that it's his niece-in-law and everything, because she comes into the family through marriage. But Natasha Powell is Natasha Mason Walker is actually one of the authors as well from the Massachusetts area. And we were just sitting there. I popped into the Rev Share, and I think I was chit-chatting to Michelle and a couple other folks, might have even been chit-chatting with Henning, like, how do y'all know Natasha? Because she's like my uncle's family. And they're like, yeah, but she's one of the authors as well. So we're just thoroughly enjoying that like quick connection that we had. And then I've been talking to her on LinkedIn and everything. So definitely we have reconnected, but I called Uncle Randy and he's like, yep, that's family. And family is a part of that book along with Michelle.
Well, you know, Michelle, let's brainstorm a little bit here. Why not do a daily dose TV show, even if it's a 15-minute read from the book every day?
Oh, I would love that. That would be so amazing. And we would be so honored to do that. You know,
every morning before we kick off with the world news, in there somewhere, we kick off with a 5-minute, whatever read it is. You can even pre-record it. You know, again, brainstorming live on TV. Here I go. But have you do a daily dose for us every day. And we could start it off in January if you want. What a great way to kick off January 1st. We could all buy our book for Christmas. But I have a special guest. Humera is just started her own TV show. It kicks off at 1:00 this afternoon. I want to play her intro real quick before we bring Humera on, just to give her a little bit of this is a welcoming party for Humera, but she has worked really hard and fast, because you know how hard this is, Michelle, to throw together stuff, but Humera's on it. So check this out. And with that, I like to bring Hamera on and thank her for doing this.
Hi, everyone. Namaste.
How are you doing?
Namaste.
I'm doing well. How are you? How's everyone? Good?
I'm doing well. Yep, everybody's doing good. I was just telling about the connection that I had made with you and the Nollywood community. So I'm hoping that you've had a chance to reach out to him and everything. But I was just telling Kim that we might have Nollywood in the house too, based on that connection that I had shared with you and everything.
Yes, actually, I did speak with the doctor, and he said that for today's show, he was traveling, but that he would be on a show like when he's available. So that's a great connection. Thank you so much. Can you hear me well? Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Okay,
Yep.
good. I got a new camera, so I mean, like, everything's so new, and I'm so excited. I have some great things planned for my episodes. Today, I'm going to do an introduction. I plan on doing, like, introducing my show, the concept, kind of what's going to happen throughout the season. And also, I want to focus on what really connects us. And art is something that it gives people happiness. It's a way of expression. There's even I heard somewhere that the word earth without art would just be eh. So it's kind of, I mean, it really is like that. It brings color to this world. It brings unity. Everybody has their own interpretation. And someone even told me that when they are even when they're alone and had nobody, they still have their music. So I want to bridge the gap, and I want to focus on, there's so many misconceptions, and I want to focus both on what similarities we have so we can celebrate the similarities and realize that we all, in the core, we all are the same. But I want people to appreciate that in both industries, Hollywood and Bollywood and even Nollywood, they're both also very unique in their own ways. And what my concept is even though the show is about Hollywood meets Bollywood, I'm going to say it can go from either over the Atlantic Ocean or over the Pacific Ocean. So I plan to have people who are even from Hong Kong, of Indian descent. I plan to have a musician who performs in Dubai, someone who actually was one of the first American artists of his. He's a musical artist who performed in Nepal, from the West. So I have some exciting things planned, and I'm really excited.
Well, we also have stars right here that keep beaming in, but Michelle from the Henning Morales and Rev Shares, of course, every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, they do movie night. So, we'll help cross promote them. What Hamera does is she's connecting all of the different Hollywoods, Bollywoods, Nollywoods, and we're just uniting and bridging all of these cinema because they're putting in so much work, and this has been a tough, challenging year, but we want to bring out the emphasis on how much we want to promote and love them, because during this time, I'm sure we have all binge watched I don't know how many things. And, I highly recommend binge watching Dirt Merchant movies. I think they're all very mentally good set movies for teenagers. I call them the Soprano Breakfast Club drama. But I want to share, Michelle has just coming out with a book. It's going to be hitting the shelves and shortly. And it's about inspiring people. Again, one of Henning Morales' missions is to help reduce the suicide rates in the youth, and to help promote healthier mindsets, right? Healthier ideas for better choices, which is what his movies are about. And Michelle has been a strong supporter of everything that Henning has been doing. Henning can't do all of this without a great team. I see her every Wednesday night that I can beam in, whenever I can beam in. If not, I try. So here's the trick. If you can't beam in on the Zoom, watch it on Facebook. And then share the love on Facebook if you can. But unfortunately, I have so much going on that sometimes I can't do two things at one time and beam in. So I'll watch while I work. But that's how we promote each other. And one of my missions, of course, is reducing domestic violence. But the other part of domestic violence that brings on a lot of fatalities is suicides as well, because people see no way out. And what I mean by suicides is sometimes it's the offender where they kill the person and then self commit suicide. But teenagers, right, who are locked into situations they can't seem to find a way out of. But there are so many good things. But I'm excited about Hamera Wood coming up. You know, Michelle, maybe you can bring a guest for Hamera. Yes, yes. And
I would love to. I would love to. Yes.
Yes. And bringing in movies, because that's, you know, RevShare is also not just about the Dirt Merchant movies. They're going to be doing more movies. They're becoming a platform for other movies. So this is all great and exciting. I'm celebrating today because we have just, you know, along with Hamera, we have added, I don't know how many shows in the past week, and we're up to 62 TV shows. And that to me is celebrity status. We're meeting our goals. That's what building goals are all about. We want to have 100 shows by the end of the year. And then we're going to do IBM TV awards are going to be happening. We're just going to make this as much fun as possible. So educational and fun. Michelle, do you have any final words for us for this week?
You know, really the final words, I'm just so amazed when we talk about suicide in youth. You know, it's funny how we're in a world that we're all connected through our mobile devices, yet we feel so alone. And, you know, it's kind of a catch-22. We're able to connect all over the world, but we can't even connect in our own household. So, you know, I just want to encourage parents just to check in with your children, see how they're doing, just have a conversation, you know, they just want to be heard. So that's my ending thought for the day.
Well, and I think we're going to have to wrap up here in a minute. I think that's a beautiful thought. And I'm glad that you join us every week to share this information, because this is something we can really fix, right? We can be very positive about this, and we can really turn this around for a lot of people just by being there for them. On our producer roundtable talk, if anyone ever wants to join us, that's every Sunday afternoon. Mark Lee controls it. Just ask Mark Lee for a link. But on the producer table round, we bring up all of these issues and we talk about them. We dig deep into solutions and bringing out awareness. I feel like it's one of my favorite public service announcement talks. But Hamera's got to go. She's got her show. Come on, girl. Somebody's waiting for you.
Well, you know, I wanted to bring up a point. One of the guests on my show is going to be my dad. He's a big Bollywood enthusiast. He wanted to be a Bollywood actor, but he's also a psychiatrist. And actually, one of the top headlines in Bollywood right now is a famous actor committed suicide and passed away. Yep. And so I'm going to speak a little bit about that on my show, too.
Well, and I can't wait to see it. This is exciting to be able to help you launch a new show that's going to bridge many worlds, right? We're not building walls here at IBM TV, where we are smart TV content, but we are bridging all of these different beautiful things and learning. I can't wait. Do I get to see your dad today?
Yes, he has a clinic, but he plans to join at 1:30. Like, he's going to be in and out, kind of like how, you know, when you pop in, like you pop in and pop out, you know, between patients, but he's definitely going to be on. So I'm excited to have him. He is a wealth of knowledge, not just in Bollywood, but just in general in life itself. I mean, right. He's a really positive person.
Well, so that's about all of this anyway, right? It doesn't always have to be just a famous celebrity. It could be just somebody who is here for us. Well, thank you, folks, for joining us. Go watch Hamera Wood. We'll see.
Thank you. See everyone soon. Wish me good luck, please.
Yeah.